Hello everyone. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 1 has ended with an abrupt cliffhanger that shocked every single one of us. We were already bumped about the fact that the show had decided to take a break in the midst of the season. On top of that, we were left with such a major plot twist that shook us to our core. In the end, waiting for Part 2 to begin became immediately unbearable. Thankfully, time flies by, and we can assure you that we won't have to wait so long to welcome the new episodes of the series. So, let's have a look at when will the beloved show continue and what to expect from it. Before diving into the news about the second part of Season 5, we have to remember what happened in Part 1. In Part 1, we watched John becoming the governor of Montana. It was expected, of course, since it's unthinkable to see a man like John Dutton losing any race he takes part in. But still, it was quite interesting to watch John as a politician, rather than a rancher. Even he was alienated from this new version of his life and couldn't keep up with the requirements of his new position. He was expected to act politically in any case, attend various meetings, and keep his personal feelings out of any subject. And yet, John was the exact opposite in all these expectations. His heart and mind were all in the Yellowstone ranch, and he couldn't care less about being a governor. And yet, here we were, seeing him at the top position of the state. Of course, his enemies didn't lose any time in creating difficulties for him. Especially Market Equities pushed immediately to make sure its ventures in the state are still secure despite the presence of John. Well, then we're wrong. John's first action was to cancel the deal with Market Equities, putting both the company and the state in a difficult position. If this was all he has done, things could have progressed normally for the upcoming 4 years for John, since no one would have had to protest against him openly. However, he made the mistake of having Jamie, his son, as an enemy. Jamie has been raised for the position of governorship, so when the seat was finally empty, he assumed he would be the one to replace it. John, on the other hand, had already lost his trust in Jamie, which is why he didn't hesitate to eliminate him and became the governor himself. In the end, Jamie resented John but didn't say much at first, knowing that his options were limited. Then he met Sarah from Market Equities, a woman with lots of brain power, courage, and weakness. Naturally, Sarah was working for the interests of Market Equities, but she didn't put those interests forefront. Instead, she decided to form a personal relationship with Jamie and then enable those interests to come to the surface naturally. Her plan did work, and she managed to trick Jamie into believing that they can impeach John if they want to. Guess what? They were more than willing to impeach John. So Jamie didn't lose any time and rushed into the Senate to call for impeachment. This has become the last straw in his relationship with John, as there was no turning back from this point forward. In the very last scene of the final episode of Part 1, we watched John and Beth planning the murder of Jamie, while Jamie was plotting to kill Beth at the very same time. What an ending, though. In the trailer for Part 2, we were likely to witness an open war between these two sides. If there would be no plot twists, we expect one person to be killed from each side. If we were to bet, we would bet on Sarah and Beth as the people who are more likely to die in Part 2's ending. His losses would make the feud between Jamie and John even more personal, and the next season would be dedicated to the rivalry between the father and the son. Of course, Yellowstone isn't a show that can be trusted in terms of what to expect from it. The show is known for its plot twists, and we wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that John and Jamie were in fact besties. Well, that would be an over-the-top twist, and we are not sure how would we feel about that. Still, we believe the series will take a much more violent and brutal turn in the second part, and we cannot wait for it. According to Paramount Network, the second part of this season will be released in the summer of 2023. To be more specific, we expect the show to continue on June 2023, as it provides enough time for filming and producing the second part of Season 5. Now that might seem like a very long time to wait, but in the meantime, we will be able to watch 1923 and perhaps even 4 sixes, which would be efficient in the absence of Yellowstone. Besides, let's be honest, Yellowstone is worth to wait. Do you think Part 2 will witness the death of Sarah and Beth? Who would be the winner in a possible rivalry between Jamie and John? Do you think there will be some shocking plot twists in Part 2 that will ruin our current expectations? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.